Hello, everyone, and welcome to an Impossible Creatures game commentary. Today, I have Will with me. Will, say hi.
Hello.
And I'm your host, Bchamp, and we're going to be going over a game on vacation of Mutt versus Sniper. We're on Tellurian 2.5, and here we go. Glad to be back at it.
There's no telling
Yeah,
what
it
evil
feels weird
plans
not being the
hunters
host
have
this time,
afoot,
I'll be honest.
but we can put a stop to them by taking out their last.
So here we have Mutt in the top,
Matt has
right?
the.
Oh,
I love how we're
go
both
on,
doing the
go
same
on. You got
thing.
it.
Top right, I think on vacation, this is something we talk about in a few 1v1s, I think, is top right on vacation is definitely favourable. I think I talked about it in depth with Will, maybe. Just because of the access to the water in mid, and you can fence people off so easily. But anyway, let's look at the build orders, I guess, at early game.
Yeah, so it looks like Mutt here we have two lightning rods set up. So this is actually basically identical to the build order that I have in my early game build order tutorial, which is on this channel. Then Sniper, he's going a little bit later with his next rod, so focusing a bit more on coal production. And so this sets Mutt up to go for possibly a slightly faster level 2. And Sniper's definitely getting more coal production. He isn't using a scouting hench right now, so Mutt's missing out on that, and he did go for a later rod, which will help him out a tiny bit.
Yeah, also Mutt sent his henchman to the second expo much sooner as well than Sniper, which means that the length of time it takes for his henchman to deliver coal is much longer as well.
Yeah.
So Sniper had a little bit of advantage from that as well, maybe 60 coal or so, which doesn't sound much, but in the early game it could be quite important.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. Maybe I can do an experiment one day on what is the optimal way to build on vacation.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, I'd like that.
So you can see Sniper's got another lightning rod up here. So there's a little crook or cranny right here that you can build a lightning rod. One to check out if the enemy goes and tries to build a creature chamber here, but also to keep your lightning rods out of the way.
I always build a sneaky CC there if I'm on the top. So that L2 Sonic coming out from Mutt, something I really like in Tellurian 2.5.
Yeah,
a great change.
Brand
Credit
new
to the team there.
Looking at these Sonic at level 2, so that's great. I know you're a big fan of Sonic, Will.
I am indeed, so I'm gonna have some fun messing around with these when I eventually come back to playing. We should talk about this fence position that Mutt's doing now as well. So what he's doing here is creating fences with one tile wide or one tile separating them. So the size of every creature in IC is at least one tile wide, which means that these cheetah mantises cannot get through these tiles. So the idea that Mutt made was to make these fences and then park his dolphins behind them so the cheetah mantises couldn't get to them. Unfortunately, it just wasn't executed well enough.
Yeah, and doing this spacing strategy makes your henchman build a little bit faster if you can pull off the mouse clicks fast enough, which Mutt is definitely able to. And you can see these cheetah mantis with that frenzy, high damage per second at level 2, just completely shredding everything that Mutt has.
Absolutely shred, yeah.
And I'm not sure the price on these cheetah mantises. We can check it out at the end of the commentary, but these mountain dolphins, aren't they like 172 coal?
Something like that, yeah. They're definitely on the expensive side of level 2s.
Yeah, certainly. We can check out, Mutt is now building these Oog tab here. So the Oog Pister is actually the new unit in Tellurian 2.5, and it has deflection armor, which is awesome, and it's fast speed as well. So you can see it's very, very meaty level 2 unit. We can see Sniper down here. He's starting to build a fence. He's got 2 creature chambers up, alternating between these chameleon zebras and the cheetah mantises.
Yeah, it's interesting he's gone to the chameleon zebras, presumably because he thinks they'll beat the manline dolphins, but actually, I mean, you can look earlier at what happened. The cheetah mantises just shredded through the dolphins, so I think maybe he would be better off sticking with the mantises here.
Yeah, certainly, and I think one thing about the cheetah mantises is if you have enough Sonic, then you can potentially kill them all at once. I've seen that in another game, not here, but Sniper does use them a lot. So it's...
Yeah, he might be thinking it's like critical mass time, and now the cheetah mantises are worthless, but in reality, he could be running those cheetah mantises up and hitting the henchmen whilst his zebras attack, or
Yeah, they're just so fast and versatile.
yeah, yeah. And raiding's so important in IC. I'll preach about raiding till I die.
And you can see Sniper's still building from these creature chambers down here. He's finished off his fence, as well as taken this bottom geyser. One thing that I would have done definitely
Sniper's
is...
also just taken his base geyser as well, which Matt had earlier.
Oh, yes, yes, that's good. That's good to point out. But I definitely would have built a creature chamber up here if he knows that's going to be his main front of attack, instead of having two down lower. The rationale might be that since he has fast units, he's prepared to defend himself if attacked in this direction, which it looks like Mud is doing now. But at the same time...
Yeah, unfortunately for Mutt, those Oog Pistas and Mountain Lion Dolphins really don't have a way of dealing with fences, which is a bit of a problem with that level 2 setup. If Mutt could push through here, that'd really be getting some pressure on Sniper and kind of counter attack, which would have helped him out a lot in this game, I think.
Yeah, but it looks like he needs to retreat and go back up and defend his base, and it would have just taken too long for these Mountain Lion Dolphins to be able to get through that fence.
So I don't know if you just saw that popped up on the left of your screen was the level up icon. That's Mutt just gone to level 3.
Yes, yes, and it looks like
it's gonna...
I'll select Sniper's
Sniper hasn't
base.
even started, yeah.
Yeah, and he actually ends up going to advanced research before level 3, even though he saw that Mutt just got it. So that's an interesting move on his part. I know me, I would be frantically clicking level 3 the moment I hear that my opponent
I guess it's probably something to do with his economy. I guess been pushing this economy too much to sustain this force.
And it could be, yeah, he just doesn't have the electricity to go level 3, you're right.
Look at the top of your screen, there's Sniper punching a gen with 2 henchmen. Places 2 water chambers, but hasn't built them, so that's a bit of a delay on, 400 coal?
Yeah, definitely a slight blunder there. You don't want to have idle resources, and putting
Not
them
being
on...
used.
Yeah, and having these idle buildings here is definitely not good. But a little inefficiency. He's still playing very well, but Mutt is really pulling through a comeback right now with his level 3 units.
Yeah, well, that's the advantage of getting the tech up. And you see these, is that a wasp hippo at the top?
Yeah, right up here.
Yeah, it's a good spot. So that's him just going to go and defend his generator.
Yeah, and Will, you were mentioning before having these meat shields with assassinate and charge attack.
Yeah, I think that's super
strategy.
fun. Yeah, obviously charge means I'll get in quick, and then the assassinate. I like when things like that just synergize well.
Yeah, yeah, great unit. Here, definitely, I would like to have seen Mutt use all these additional henchmen. There he goes. To start going for this Southern Expo, to keep up with Sniper's economy.
Yeah, yeah.
And then here, doing a little bit better micro and attacking the hench. Assassinate works on hench, right?
It does, yeah. It's a bit
There we go.
broken because of that.
Yeah, so that would have been more effective than wasting them there, but he noticed that, which is good. And here now, we have Sniper at level 3, and finally starting to build those level 3 units. He has his advanced research, which
as well.
I think it's interesting that he went for advanced research first, but this whole time since we mentioned that, he hasn't built any of his advanced structures. So he could have saved his resources a little bit, although it's not much, but it does... is one of those things where when you're trying to maximize efficiency, sometimes those little things do come into play.
Yeah, but it's like he kind of rushed towards advanced structures and then didn't make any use of it. You think maybe he'd been better off building more hench or
Exactly.
getting the earlier level 3, because now he's at level 3, he's keeping up with Mutt fine. I think both teams are kind of suffering from not having much damage output actually at level 3.
We can see Sniper, he's starting to build this sound beam array here, spacing them well because he knows that Mutt does have these level 3 artillery, and so you don't want all your sound beams getting taken up by the artillery.
Yeah. Also, I think it's quite interesting they're both using Walrus chimps. I think they're quite clearly the superior range or the artillery choice at this patch. Certainly at level 3.
Yeah, definitely. 317 health is crazy, and I haven't been using walrus shrimps actually in any of my armies right now. Partially because I'm just a sucker for the high melee with artillery. Um,
Right, right.
Horse archerfish I like as a higher damage per second and it's faster, which is great. Um, but you don't get that health that you do with these walrus
No,
shrimps,
no.
which is definitely detrimental.
So something that was changed in Tellurian 2.5 from 2.4 was the artillery or the projectile speed of rocks from chimpanzees. In the last patch, the chimpanzee projectile was I think 0.8 the speed of the archerfish projectiles.
Hmm.
So in the last patch, theoretically, archerfish were better, but this patch, the chimps basically just got buffed. And I don't know if you played much of 2.4, but these walrus chimps were one of the most common artillery units in 2.4 as well. And they're
Yeah,
just even better this patch.
definitely. So I'll have to try them out in one of my armies. You can see Sniper up here really doing work to these to this generator, but interestingly enough, he has these two idle water chambers, but keeps building,
And he's reinforcing from his base.
yeah, with amphibious units. So they're really taking the long way around. I think if Sniper would have gotten a little bit earlier on, or been a bit closer,
Yeah,
he could really
that
overwhelm
travel
Mutt
time
here.
is a long time. The other
Yeah.
thing Sniper's not doing here, which I think is quite interesting, is he's not. Bear in mind, he's building amphibious units and they're running up to the left of that middle river. He's not crossing the river into Mutt's base in the south,
Oh
which I think could
yes.
have been really, really important for him if he'd done that.
He's not coming around south,
Split
and
up
he's
Mutt's
not
forces.
sending units around the back of Mutt's base here. So, being in the top position, one of the disadvantages you do have, or advantages, either one, you have an entrance to the water from the back, and so if your
Uh huh.
opponent comes in through the back here, you can actually be attacked from three sides. Um, yeah, here you can see snipers really coming in with these sound beam towers, doing a lot to Mutt, who has reached level 4 now. Let's see what sniper's progress is on that. Snipers,
Not even at level 4 yet.
yeah, not looking, but you can see these hippo frogs are Mutt's weapon of choice.
Which is good. They do obviously more damage than the Muskox frogs, but really he still has no way of dealing with the artillery units from Sniper.
Yeah, yeah. And so he made a little fence here just to help kind of pen his units in and pick off the melee, which is helping him a little bit. So we haven't really touched on the fact that Mutt's had this expo down here this entire game and hasn't really done too much with it offensively. And I think one thing that could help him a lot right now, he's definitely on his back foot and not and under a lot of pressure by Sniper. But splitting some of that up and even just sending one or two artillery units or ranged units over to start raiding around the water around this expo, I think could have done a lot really. Oh, so he does
Yeah,
have
particularly
these.
these horse piranhas. Yeah, they're definitely like capable of raiding. Although
Yeah.
interestingly, as you said, that Mutt actually did send one hippo wasp to the northwest expo. I think it might still be there for you at Panover.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it just doesn't have the damage output. It's just going to get punched to death.
Mm-hmm. Really taking advantage of this water pathway on vacation. It hasn't really been done yet. Looks like he's starting to a little bit more now. Talking to Mutt after the game, he mentioned that he wishes he would have built a fence here early on and built a kind of split up Sniper's expo and his main base, especially considering he's feeding everything from his main base. A little sneaky fence there would have gone a long way.
It would
to
have
help
just
him out.
completely changed the pace of this game.
Yeah.
From here, it looks as if it's going to be GG because I don't think there's anything Mutt can do. He's just building range against Sniper's massed artillery is typically not what you want to be doing.
Mm-hmm. And this is something that we've mentioned before in previous replays, but bringing your henchmen into the fight, building sound beam towers, building creature chambers, they're
so important, so powerful as well.
Valuable. Yes.
Looks like because of the delay time it takes for Sniper to reinforce his army, that Mutt is actually going to be able to fight this attack off temporarily at least.
Yeah. Especially considering Sniper's still all sending level 3s, so these level 4s are able to fend him off for a bit. Sniper now has just hit level 4.
Interesting to see if level 4 changes it at all.
Yeah, Mutt really
Someone did a
slowing
good
down
job of reinforcing at the right time, though. And he has at least got this expo, which is able to keep his economy going somewhat.
Mm-hmm. And it's amazing that he's held him off for this long, considering this, Snipers really had the pressure and the aggression this entire game.
But I think there's a few times you can look at this game and say, well, Sniper could have won here and didn't.
Oh, certainly. Right from the beginning, I think with the Cheetah Mantises, like we were talking about,
Yeah.
But
also where he's reinforcing his army from, sending them all the way from your base is slow when you're not keeping up with much army production. Then
looks like got the exact same level 4
range.
Yeah. So that's pretty funny. We can check out those in the army builder as well.
Yep.
So finally doing a lot more reinforcement from these water chambers here, which is good to see.
About time. Mutt was just able to produce units much faster than Sniper did.
Mm-hmm. A little bit understaffed at this expo. He did send these henchmen over to start building sound beam towers over in Mutt's base, and it would be nice to see him replenish those. But I feel like Sniper feels that he has a lot of momentum now. So he's not as interested in the economy and just trying to finish it off and clutch the victory if he can.
How are we doing on upgrades? Has either player upgraded their units?
So we
I noticed they both have
sight
obviously.
and range attack for Mutt, which is interesting that he chose to do sight. 45 sight radius, that's humongous on these hippo frogs for only a 25 range. It doesn't seem really necessary.
It's also useful for kind of scouting and being able to see around your lab, though. So
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. But finally, we see Sniper making a CC where he should be making it from the start.
Oh yeah, for real. And even still, there are units that are coming out of these creature chambers and not out of the water chambers. So.
If you're gonna have amphibious units, make the most of your water chambers.
Yeah, these looks like both of their chimp walruses are unupgraded, and these only have the health upgrade. Snipers, poison frog hippos.
Which is kind of lacking, bearing in mind that Sniper, as we say, rushed to advanced structures so early.
Yeah.
He just hasn't made use of it.
And then, so in a situation like this, if you're raiding, would you go for the water chambers or the gen here?
Right now, with 1 horse piranha, I don't think it's very relevant.
But I mean, it just I guess as a target.
If I had multiple, I probably would be hitting the water chambers. But interestingly, Sniper was reinforcing from his base most of the game, so it probably didn't make much difference.
Yeah, it would have made him build another water chamber if he was able to take these out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, it's kind of irrelevant now resource-wise. It seems like Mutt's too far behind in order to come back. He doesn't really have any henchmen. He's desperately trying to build them, but
he has some henchmen down at his South Expo still.
Yes, yeah, he does.
So his economy is not completely gone, but
would have loved to see a raid down here again. Still, if you are sending that horse piranha to a gen, I feel like the south one would have been.
I mean, the best raid really would have been to have sent
stuff through the
3
water.
or 4 or 5 horse piranhas through the water and straight to his base.
Yeah.
That would have been the best raid.
And it looks like the playback is over.
That's the game over. Right, okay, so
I'll
use that middle river. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was definitely it was kind of painful to see that huge thing glaring us in the face, and we were unable to to help them out.
Yeah, I shouldn't criticize too much. Sniper and Mutt will both absolutely ruin me in a 1v1.
Oh, definitely. It's all hindsight is always easy.
It is. It is.
Yeah. So here is our hippo frogs.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, they're nice. Not too expensive. They're definitely on the high power side, but I've definitely used more expensive level 4s before.
As have I. Yeah.
Yeah. So what else do we want to look at? We want to look at these
cheetah mantises.
cheetah mantises. Yes. And we can see.
Wow. I think he just used them with the cheetah head. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
Oh, so they're elect heavy, but not too bad on coal, which would explain why Snipe was slower to level 3, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. He was really spamming these a lot, and cost-wise, they seem really efficient though. They're doing pretty well. So we can look at the mountain lion dolphins. And
Although in theory, the mountain lion dolphins should beat the praying mantis cheetahs.
so you can see,
It's
these
just
are
the coal
definitely.
cost difference.
You can see from the beginning though, when Mutt lost 4 or 5 these mountain lion dolphins, how much more expensive these were that he lost compared to those cheetah mantises. So definitely set him back. Anything else you want to look at?
No, the horse piranhas, please, as well.
Oh yeah.
The damage wasn't there.
So
How much they were. Don't think they're too expensive if memory serves.
those are
Yeah, not bad.
yeah, they're just as expensive, almost as expensive as his range units, but yeah, not bad overall.
Good damage, pack, frenzy, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
Well, I
a big
like, you
fan
know.
of speed these days too.
Yeah, as am I. Frenzy just as well. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good replay. Well played, boys. Sniper and Mutt.
Yeah, definitely. It's
Keynotes,
been great
I
learning
would
from
say
you guys.
again. Use that water chamber, use the river, and keep up constant pressure, which is the other thing that I guess neither player did especially well. Certainly Sniper didn't in the early game. After that, he was much better, and
Yeah, and
obviously eventually won.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see what a two-front attack would have looked like, especially when I'm under pressure. I know that raiding, just like you do, is something
Yeah,
that really can make a big
it
difference.
messes with people. It does. It just forces people to take time out of either their research or whatever they're doing at the lab to
Yeah.
reinforce expos, which is time wasted. So it's always good. It's always good.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining me. It's been a while since we've done one of these commentaries, so I'm really glad
No
that
problem.
I can have you here.
It's good to be back. So hopefully we'll get a few more done over the next couple of weeks and get back into the swing of things.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching.